Alright, so I'm on my way home. The road ferry came by. The road ferry's name is Perry. He was there yesterday. That's the guy I ran into with the plow. And let me tell you what happened between him and I. I've known him, well, he's older than me, but he's probably known me since I was a little baby or whatever, that type of thing, little kid. Well, maybe not, but since I was a kid anyway. And we were talking beavers and stuff like that. And he's the guy cutting on the far side of me, and he's like, he says, if you want some more beavers, he says, I know where there's about 10 of them, although there wasn't anywhere I was today. I hope they haven't gotten smart to my trap. I think that might be what happens, because I can't see me not catching 2 days in a row, not catching on a beaver house that size. Makes me a little nervous, you know what I mean? I think the beavers are getting shy. But anyway, yeah, he was plowing the road, and he opened it up for me there just so I could turn around. So, well, I probably did it more for him, but it still works out for me. Now, here's where it gets dangerous around here. Is like when you're coming down these kind of mountains, like they're not super steep, but yeah, right there you can see the brakes lock up pretty good. So just like, I could put it in first. I should probably put it in first, but I don't think it'll make any. It's just there's like 3 little nubs right here that are really bad, so keep my speed low, because all the guys in the big trucks, they just run through this, no common sense whatsoever. You know, it says 40, they'll put a 1 in front of it, you know what I mean? So I keep it at about 20-30k coming down until I get to a certain spot. If not, you're gonna slide off in the bush. Now you'd say, or Ed, you're just being a nanny. Well, let me tell you about this road. You know how many vehicles I've rescued on this road? Yeah, like especially this here. It's just a little bit of this, you know, a little bit of, not a slalom, but right at the end of it, you're going to land in McCarthy Lake if you start sliding. But it's not bad. There's a little bit of grip here. But you can tell if it was to get any any wetter, it would be, you'd be slipping to the bottom of the hill there. So, you know, they got 3,200 pounds of Unico here, my little CRV. So no use. Don't want to build any momentum. From this point on, it's not so bad. It's just to get in narrows. But anyway, so he's telling me about 2 spots where there's more. There's one spot he wasn't sure if there was beaver there, but he says it's a nice big beaver pond. There's like 3 dams. I think, oh, okay, well, you know, maybe for next year, you know, like this one I'm gonna give. If I don't catch anything this week, I'm just gonna pull the trap. Like, I mean, the gas, you know, I can't gamble like that. And I can't really get in there good. So here's the deal. Here's the deal you get, okay? And a lot of guys will do this to you just to pressure you to do it. Is like, if you want those beavers, go get those beavers. You say, okay, I got to get those beavers, because if you don't get them, I'm going to shoot them all. They won't shoot them all, but because they're not supposed to shoot them all. But however, there is a contract to eliminate beavers in my area by the municipality, and my uncle does it. It's a government contract, and you basically you become a beaver hitman. So that's what they're talking about, right? So so the thing is, everybody wants you to trap their beavers out, like right now, like, you know, that kind of thing. So the way I look at it, I said, well, next year, like if I could see where they all, I could set them up. You know, okay, this week here, trap this beaver house out. This week here, trap this beaver house. Like this beaver house, if I had a better, if I see the mistake I made, like I mentioned in the previous videos, was I didn't walk right up to the beaver house. I didn't find the way in. I don't know why I didn't. I mean, it was there. There was no reason why I didn't. I saw it, okay, no problem. But I figured it was out further. But it's right at the edge of the dam. The problem is where does the dam begin and the beaver house end, and vice versa? And the ice there is absolutely horrid. I mean, it's -10 right now. You saw how easy my axe busted through that, right? So, and yesterday it just fell through it, like, so the point is that I don't know where the beaver house actually ends, so I can't safely put traps somewhere. I could be standing out in 3 feet of water, over 3 feet of water, not know it, right? And I don't want to. I definitely don't want to be doing that. So my goal is quite simple. Is next year is tag, like my dad and I were talking. Like, gotta tag everything, so you know exactly where the entrance begins, the end of the beaver house begins, and everything like that. So there's no guessing, right? And it's a lot safer. But the good news is that I got 2 beavers out of there so far, which I don't think they're going to make it up on this batch of the fur trade. My pickup is on Sunday, my first pickup. very excited for that. And the second one is in April 19th. So I got first pickup is like January 19th. Okay, today's the 13th, so in 6 days. Up in Otter Lake, so nice and close. It's closer than what it was. It used to be restaurant bar out in Low. And then I got to pick up, I guess it'll be at the same spot in April. Now, this is the auction you want to get in on, is the first one. Well, it's Perry and I were kind of arguing which was the first arguing which is the first auction, which is the last auction, because it depends on how you look at it, right? If you're looking at it, okay, this is my first send up, well then the May auction or whatever it is the first auction, right? But if you're looking at it from the springtime on, then August is the first auction or whatever. So it's like, okay, oh, you know, a little bit of a banter. Oh, well, it's not the first auction. Well, both were kind of sure, but either way, that's when the auctions are. And the big one is in Helsinki, Finland. I think that one's in June. And that's the one where you want your furs ready. And I don't know if the April pickup of furs gets there in time, because it takes them about 2 months to sort. I mean, they got tens of thousands of furs, maybe close to 1 million furs to go through. I mean, this is a $40 billion a year industry, which is pretty impressive. Fur industry, I don't think, like, the fashion industry is up and down, and that's where the big money is on a lot of stuff, sure. But the quantity industry is the utility industry. Think like parkas and the trim around parkas and gloves and stuff like that. So where they'll take furs that are more for utility rather than for style and fashion. Personally, I think, you know, you probably are more likely to get fur sales on the utility, but you're going to get higher dollar, I think, on the fashion. So obviously the fashion furs, you know, that's a fad and trend. You know, as people become a little bit more on the leftist SJW thing, you might get less people interested in buying fur for the look, right? And oh my God, their yard's full of snow. So there's that there to consider. The other thing to consider is that military applications of, like, for example, the Chinese a couple of years ago buying up every muskrat and beaver pelt they could, because one of their garments was the hats. They were making beaver hats, and they were making gloves and stuff like that. So, you know, if the military keeps a good contract like that, you can get, you know, you could sell a lot of fur that way. And but on the other hand, once they get their fill, it's like, okay, yeah, well, we filled that contract. Then, you know, now you've got an open market again, looking for buyers, right? And that's where your fur prices really kind of go up and down and can be a little bit unstable. We had an argument over the fur prices. He didn't believe me that I got over $100 for one of my beavers a couple of years ago. But this is what I was talking about. I mean, it wasn't an argument, but, like, you know, it was, oh, no, you're full of shit, you know, that kind of thing. I said, no. I said, I got one otter that was 85, one otter that was 65, and one was 115, and one was like 99 a couple of years ago. And he's like, oh, no, otters are like 30 bucks. But see, these guys, when they trap, okay, they trap and I know these type of guys, so they tend to trap the early season, right? And that's not when the furs are good. The furs are good now when it's hard, when it's difficult and miserable, and you pull your handle off your door of your vehicle and stuff like that. Just saying. I'm still kind of like, why me? My poor CRV. I duct taped it. I'll show you how I fixed I'll show you how a man fixes his vehicle. I'll show you how. What you do when you pull your door handle off is you duct tape the crap out of it so the weather doesn't get in there, and fix it in the spring. That's how you do it. All right, there you go.